Hey guys, Bada Bing here, and I have returned with the Umarex licensed HK MP5A5 by VFC. Yes, it's been 2 years already, and it's time to get the rundown of things with this beautiful gas blowback SMG. So, thanks for joining me, and if you're new to the channel, it's pretty much gas blowbacks only here, because they are super cool, and if you like that kind of stuff too, why not subscribe to the channel? If you'd like to go even further to help me out, you can buy me a cup of coffee at buymeacoffee.com. I take it black, like my H&Ks. Things have gone really well for VFC's HK Masterpiece. It's seen a surge in popularity within the airsoft community, and not just this A5 model, but also the subsequent variants such as the Kurtz and KPDW, which I would commit the most horrific acts to own, but sadly I have no disposable funds, following my recent purchase of Paul Allen's GBBR. In the 2 years I've been HK slapping this SMG, what's the story? What's changed? What's gone wrong? Is it still an absolute beast? Let's get into it. First of all, I want to skip the basic overview of this gas blowback as we've all been over this before on the review, and the versus video with the MP5, and I'm guessing you've seen those. If you haven't, then pause the vid and tap the card here for the playlist. Highly recommended viewing. Let's get right into the first issue I had with this MP5, which came roughly a year after owning it, and that was my heavily reported cocking support tube. The original tube didn't last. The abuse of countless slaps caused it to break because it's made of a cheap alloy material. The handle pin itself is steel, but it's too bad the rest of it wasn't constructed of the same kind of metal. It was anybody's guess when it would pop, and I happened to find out after a year. Would I have done things differently knowing where it would end up? No. Soon after, I replaced it with an original factory part. There's one or two individuals out there that say you don't need to slap it, it's a ridiculous maneuver, and to those people I say, listen to me, you little joyless punk. I'll slap this thing all day long because this dirty little whore enjoys the hell out of it. And you want to know why? Well, it's because I found an original HK MP5 cocking tube to upgrade the nasty VFC version. Despite user feedback claiming it's a drop-in fit for VFCs, this wasn't the case with mine, and it required minor filing to make it work correctly, but I got it there, and I've been slapping away ever since, with seemingly no ill effects to the neighbouring components. Next to go was my original loading nozzle. The BB loading tip disintegrated and would no longer chamber BBs. This is something which obviously would become a problem in time because of VFC's less than realistic bolt stop system. After the last BB had left the magazine, the follower would present itself in front of the chamber and would block the travel of the bolt carrier, which would leave the bolt just out of battery and prevent it from completing its journey to prime another shot. This is perhaps the one thing I hate most about VFC's MP5. It's a cheap method, totally unrealistic, and can cause wear on 2 points. Back then, the loading tips had no steel reinforcement moulded into this piece, so it's a toss-up as to which would go first, the follower or the nozzle. VFC have updated their design to incorporate the metal reinforcement, so technically the survivability goes up. And what of the BB follower? Well, I'll have to see about that as time goes on. So that's about it in the last 2 years, nothing much to report. I haven't changed anything else in it, as it's quite decent enough as it is. Apart from the things I mentioned earlier, it's still completely stock, and it is still an amazing shooter. With the MP5s enjoying widespread adoption, the amount of third-party upgrades are growing. So right now you can replace almost everything in the trigger pack for steel. You can get aluminium nozzles, BB followers, stock, scope mounts, etc. They are catering for this system really well, although I've yet to see a steel cocking support tube. I see the Crusader ones that were produced way back in the version 1 days, but I don't think they're being made anymore. Then there's always the WE Tech version which fits, so that's an option. I hear VFC uses steel ones within their kits, so perhaps it is coming for their full-sized MP5. Comment below if you know. Okay, it's currently 5 degrees Celsius out here, and you've seen me do cold weather testing with this particular MP5 before, and the WE on the Versus video. If you haven't seen that, go check it out, it's really good. Push it down to 1 degree Celsius, the magazines were icy cold, and this little lady was able to burn through the magazine, no problem whatsoever. Well, it chugged a bit, but it still made it through. But today I wanted to see what that translated to getting the BBs to the target itself. Can it do it? And if it can, what's it like? Is it reliable? Is it practical? We're gonna see. So, as I said, 5 degrees Celsius. I've got 2 different weight BBs that I'm gonna be using. So I've got 0.3s, which is kind of like my standard. And I've got 0.2s, just in case the 3s don't make it there. So we'll see what both of those weights do with the MP5, so let's do this. Alright, target at approximately 40 meters away, so let's do this with 0.3s. BBs are not making it there, falling about 30 meters, so I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to increase the hop up and see what happens. Nope. BBs are hitting the deck now at 20 meters away, not going very far at all. No, just loosened the hop to see what it'll do. Oh, got a hit. And that's it. Again, 40 meters, 0.3s. Let's go. Nope. Second time around, same gas, just a new load of BBs, and nope, spluttered. It's got over a magazine and a half through, about that, but yeah, the second mag really did it in. Okay, again, 40 meters now. We got some lighter BBs, these are 2s, so we'll see what these are like. It looks like they're making it out there. But dropping just in front of the target. And it is out. That lockback thingy, so it was able to clear the 30 rounds no problem. It's just that range, yeah, you're not going to get it. Okay, so that's a cold weather performance of the VFC MP5. 4 or 5 degrees Celsius, and even with 0.2s it wasn't quite making 40 meters. With the 3s, no, it wasn't getting there, so I increased the hop just a little bit to see if I could just lift it up just a smidge. It didn't really help out at all, it made it even worse, so dialed it back a bit, and that's where I saw a few BBs get within the general area, and I had one, I believe one striking the target, so, and all subsequent shots after that kind of just like fell short. But yeah, if you're using the MP5 for its intended purpose, going room to room in CQB in lower temperatures, yes, it'll do a lot better for you, but if you're pushing out to extended distances, it's not going to do it for you. Yeah, it is what it is. It's an SMG. It's meant to be going through rooms, through embassies. VFC's MP5 performs admirably in the cold weather, to be fair to it. In the shots I filmed in the opening intro, it was obviously struggling to cycle the multiple bursts and extended automatic fire that I was asking of it, but this is what we need to see, conditions in which it fails, so we all know what the system is capable of. Long thin gas blowback SMG magazines aren't amazing in the cool air, they tend to suffer more than GBB mags. Propane did its best, but swap out to a hotter gas to give the MP5 and yourself more confidence. And confidence in your equipment is key. The 5 best things about the VFC MP5 have to be the overall look of this SMG. From every angle, every minute detail, even down to the trademarks and serial number, it's accurate and correct. Build quality is up there too. The body is well made and functionally sound. It's a tight frame, apart from the A3 stock, which still has play in it. And then there's the shooting experience, which is crisp and fast. The gas system is outstanding and blows the WE Tech version away with how good it is. The magazines are still performing at a high level, and aesthetically they're hitting the mark too, as well as being super easy to load BBs and seemingly bomb-proof in regards to its gas seal. 2 years later and still gas tight. I've never left them without fuel in them. And finally, the other variants are available, as I said earlier. Even the SD3 is being reintroduced with the brand new hop-up, so that's amazing news. Should have been like that from the start, then perhaps I'd probably still have it, but there we go. Now the 5 worst things about the VFC MP5, and one dishonourable mention before the main list of negatives is the lack of a dry fire switch on the magazine. I know it doesn't necessarily need one, but I do like to safely fiddle about with the gas blowbacks indoors without needing to fill PBs. After spending so much time with the WE version, and then coming back to this MP5, you don't realise how much you miss that feature until it's not there. The A3 stock is still misbehaving with its up and down play from the end cap. Parts availability is mainly focused within Asia. Great if you live there, but everyone else sees it as a big pain in the ass to be so far from the supply network. And with that, the cocking support tube cannot withstand prolonged HK slaps. I don't know if they've improved the standard sized MP5 versions to be in line with the Kurtz with its steel cocking tube, so just don't be surprised if your A5 snaps if you decide to channel your inner Sean Connery. Yes. In the UK, these are expensive. And the number one disadvantage of this gas blowback for me is the horrendous bolt stop system. It's also allowing the MP5 to eat itself by introducing obviously destructive wear points. Eventually, something's gonna go. How can they get so many things right, nailing down various points and then completely disregard a feature that some say a lesser brand got right 8 years ago? It's like they couldn't be bothered. We need a good hammer drop on empty like the WE Apache, and then it will be the dominating MP5. I guess we'll have to wait for a version 3, we might just get it then. Otherwise, it delivers on all other aspects that on most days I can forget about the bolt stop completely and enjoy it for the wonderful looking, feeling and shooting replica that it is. Thank you for watching this rundown of the VFC MP5. Did you buy one of these? If you did, let me know what you think down below. What's it been like? Leave a comment, it'll be good to see your feedback. If you enjoyed the video, like, share and make sure you've subscribed. For regular updates, check out my Facebook and Instagram pages. Take care of yourselves, catch you in a bit.